Morning, everyone. Welcome. We've just finished the study for the day. We're just moving on to the reading now. So we're continuing on in Proverbs 2, and we're starting with the value of wisdom. My son, if you receive my words and treasure up my commandments with you, making your ear attentive to wisdom and inclining your heart to understanding. Yes, if you call out for insight and raise your voice for understanding, if you seek it like silver and search for it as for hidden treasures, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. So as we see in this passage that the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom, and now we understand that the fear of the Lord is also related to the knowledge of God. So wisdom is understanding more about God and understanding about Him, His ways, and what He commands of us. So seeking out His word is wisdom, and we know He's the source of wisdom. As it says here, for the Lord gives wisdom, from His mouth comes knowledge and understanding. And He gives wisdom in His word. So we're reading His word now, and we're learning wisdom. We're learning not worldly wisdom, not wisdom of the world, but we're learning wisdom from our Heavenly Father through His word that is written. So you have 66 books. And each in those 66 books of the Bible that we read is contained on those pages lots of wisdom and understanding, knowledge and understanding about, from the saints of the past to the prophecies for the future, and all through, the example of Jesus that Jesus left for us, of God's nature, of who God is. So we learn who God is through Jesus. And all the lead-up events before Jesus all lead and point to Jesus. So it's pretty amazing when you think about it, that we have this living word that we can read to gain insight into who God is, and also into becoming wise through those things. So that's why in the Bible it says the wise will do this, the wise will do that. And especially in the book of Daniel. So I think it's in the ESV. The wise will instruct many. So Daniel 11:33. In the KJV, for example, it refers to them as the wise. So Daniel 11:33. And now there's also a passage that says, don't be wise in your own eyes too. You have to remember that one. But the point is that we should seek wisdom, but we should not be wise in our own eyes. And it says here in Daniel 11, and the wise among the people shall make many understand, though for some days they shall stumble by sword, flame, captivity, and plunder. So he's saying, and going back a bit, it says, he shall seduce with flattery those who violate the covenant, but the people who know their God shall stand firm and take action. So this passage in Daniel is talking about, now, and I just want to put this forward too, is that there are many who in theology, they study theology and they believe that the events in the Bible happen once, and therefore in their minds the book of Revelation, a lot of it's already happened, and that's just an opinion. That's one of the interpretations. What we propose is obviously this lead up until Revelation. We know about the Antichrist and so forth, and the abomination of desolation. It gets set up again. Okay, it's not just Antiochus Epiphanes and slaughtering the pig in the temple, which is the old story in the Maccabean revolt, and where this happened before. It's not that. No, it's another abomination that makes desolate, and it's another event that's prophesied in Daniel. And in this time, he's saying this figure shall seduce with flattery. He's a flatterer. Those who violate the covenant, which means this agreement that is, that is the covenant of God also. But we see that he violates this peace agreement that we see that they make. He makes a covenant with many, but the people who know their God shall stand firm and take action. Right? So those who know God, those who keep God's commandments, they also will stand firm, which means that they won't be deceived. right? They'll be standing firm in their faith, and also too, they'll help many others to understand. Or in the KJV, it says they'll instruct many. And even though they're going to stumble by sword, flame, captivity, and plunder by the enemy makes war on them, on the saints. And so we understand that wisdom comes from God, and we see that there is a passage that talks about how God sees those with wisdom and understanding of who God is. He calls them the wise, because they fear God and because they understand who He is, and thus they fear Him. So the fear of God is so important. It says, "For the Lord gives wisdom, from His mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He stores up sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk in integrity, guarding the paths of justice and watching over the way of His saints. Then you will understand righteousness and justice and equity, every good path. For wisdom will come into your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. Discretion will watch over you, understanding will guard you, delivering you from the way of evil, from men of perverted speech, who forsake the path of uprightness, to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice in doing evil, and delight in the perverseness of evil, men whose paths are crooked, and who are devious in their ways." Now we understand the world is full of people that have perverted speech, who hate God, they blaspheme God, they love doing evil, they intentionally do evil, they intentionally do things that, surrounded by evil company, and so forth. All their ways are, intentionally in this way. And why is that? Well, it's because we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against these principalities. And these principalities, or these demonic spirits, they speak into people's minds and they influence them. Because they're a willing vessel and they're living in sin, their sin separates them from God. It keeps them separated. Not only does it keep them separated, but it keeps them walking in blindness to their sin, in blindness to God being real, in blindness to the truth. And because they're walking in a false way, then they're deceived, right? So they're used by the enemy. And in that deception, they then become more and more corrupted. And in that corruption, they start to then do the work of the enemy. And in their own minds, they might be doing good, just like Saul in the Bible, like Saul that became Paul. But they don't realize the error in their ways until the tables flipped later. "So you will be delivered from the forbidden woman, from the adulteress with her smooth words, who forsakes the companion of her youth and forgets the covenant of her God." So once again, there's this sense of, in the Bible, we are in a covenant with God, and we're in this marital covenant where we're called to be faithful to the husband, faithful to Jesus, as we understand. And this forbidden woman, when we go into the passages around the great prostitute, we realize she's this religious system, right? Or she's this order or this world system that's combined of, this political, social, economical, religious system of corruption and defilement that seeks to destroy God's people and defile everything. So she has a golden cup full of abominations in her hand. And we know that this actually refers to, and the symbology of the purple and the scarlet leads to the continuance of the Roman Empire. So it leads to Rome. And they worship the dragon, which is symbolic for how they worship Draco, the constellation, the dragon, but also they worship Satan, right? So there's more than one sort of understanding of this. But the point is that modern system now has found its way into the world. This false light, this false religion, it's deceived everybody. And so this forbidden woman, she represents this great whore or this prostitute or this adulteress that if we mess with or we decide to go after, we're just like Israel, how they cheated on God with other nations. It's no different, right? If you buy into this system and you start following it, you start believing it, you start living it, and you allow yourself to be taken by it, which is the system of the world, then you will be you will be taken by the forbidden woman, the adulteress with her smooth words, who forsakes the companion of her youth and forgets the covenant of her God. For her house sinks down to death, and her paths to the departed. None who go to her come back, nor do they regain the paths of life. So you'll walk in the way of the good, and keep the path of the righteous. For the upright will inhabit the land, and those with integrity will remain in it. But the wicked will be cut off from the land, and the treacherous will be rooted out of it. So we see that the wicked will be rooted out. They'll be pulled up. They'll be killed, essentially. So this is why when he says he's going to come like a thief, because he's literally going to come and steal. He's going to take life. He's going to come and all of a sudden snatch. It's not snatch people into heaven, but he's going to snatch people away, as in they're just going to pass away. They're just going to die instantly. And for all these various reasons during this period of tribulation and the times ahead. So there's a lot of death coming to the world because of, we see in Bible prophecy that these things are going to come to pass. So when he says the treacherous will be rooted out, he treats them like a weed or like the tares, how the wheat and the tares, they grow up together. And then when the time comes for the harvest, which represents obviously the tribulation, the return of Jesus, just before it, that harvest that we see, he's going to pull all the weeds out, and then he's going to gather his wheat into his barn, and that's exactly what he plans to do. So when we see this wicked being plucked up, that means that they're going to die, right? Their end will come suddenly upon them. They'll say, hide us from the Lamb, hide us from him who's seated on the throne. But ultimately, they'll be plucked up just in a moment. And so when he talks about this, he brings a sword, not only as a sword of wrath, but as a sword of division upon the world. He's dividing up the wheat and the tares. He's dividing up the sheep and the goats. He's dividing his people. In our families, will be divided, right? We're being divided because he has to divide us. He has to pull us away from those that would drag us down, those that will bring us to an end. And so that's why he starts to prune people out of your life, even people that you love, because he sees what's in their heart. He sees their intent, whether they will come to him or not. But he can't have you held back. He needs you to move forward so your journey can continue while he has to deal and contend with them. So during the tribulation period, or the lead up to the tribulation period, we're likely to see the greatest portion of division. And that division will be a sign that the tribulation is about to begin as well, because that division will mean that he's setting aside those around you that need to be threshed on the threshing floor, that will need to go through their own tribulation, right? Their own preparation for them to come to him. The world is not going to wake up and come to him without a serious shift. And the serious shift has to be something devastating. Just like in the Bible, an army coming and being raised up and crushing Jerusalem, or many of the other events that sort of occur. They're all things that happen. Like Pharaoh, for example. Look at the story of Pharaoh. It's the closest resembling story to the tribulation, because Pharaoh is represented as the people of the world, right? The prideful hearts of people, the hearts of men that are unwilling to come to God. And even when the fire falls, and even when these things happen and these pestilences happen, there will still be people that pridefully refuse, right? That have doubt and refuse and say, no, I won't be moved, right? I'm not moving. And they'll go to their destruction because of that pride. So we understand that things to come, they must happen. They can be seen as somewhat dark, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's going to happen. Whether you accept it or not, it is happening. And also to the division that happens, the reason why, many of our families and relationships are broken is because God's placed a sword in between you and them, and he's divided you up. He's intentionally done it because he needs you to be separate and set apart for his purposes, and also too, he needs to make sure you don't become corrupted or stuck or stagnant while you're in the company of those people who he has to now deal with. So when we talk about the story of Lot, we remember that in Lot's story that his family, Lot's family, were gathered up, and they were also to be saved as part of Lot's salvation. Now, that doesn't guarantee us that that'll play out the same, but it's encouraging nevertheless, and it should encourage you to remember that God understands the importance of our household and the importance of our loved ones, and therefore, we see that in the story of Lot, and we see that in a few other places too in the Bible as well. So trust in the Lord with all your heart. My son, do not forget my teaching, but let your heart keep my commandments. For length of days and years of life and peace they will add to you. And so we see that if we live in his way, we'll have a long life, a long, healthy life. But if we live in accordance with the world in sin, then obviously our days will be cut short. We'll be plucked up like a root, like a weed. Let not steadfast love and faithfulness forsake you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. And understand the tablet it's like a writing tablet, just like in the time of John, where John had John's father, Zechariah, he was mute, he couldn't speak. So he wrote on a tablet. He wrote on a tablet that said his name is John. And we can see that I don't know if we could find a picture of this, but Hebrew writing tablet. Probably not. Oh yeah. So piece of stone essentially is probably more likely lead tablet from Mount Ebal here. There's obviously going to be different generations of writing tablets and tablets of stone, but there's a wax tablet there that's probably like a more modern form, and so forth. But anyway, yes, it's definitely not an iPad. Definitely not an iPad, either which way. So we understand that, this tablet of your heart, it represents, where you take your notes, where you keep your notes. And it's this place where it's containing the information. So write it on the tablet of your heart, so you will find favor and good success in the sight of God and man. So his commandments are to walk in. It says, let your heart keep my commandments, to love and be faithful. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he'll make straight your paths. Be not wise in your own eyes. We were talking about that earlier. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. It will be healing to your flesh and refreshment to your bones. So when we turn away from evil, we come to the light, we come to him, and obviously that is the place in which we abide. We abide in Jesus, and in him we find refreshment, in him we find healing. And while we come to him, so this is the thing you got to remember. You got to remember this, is that if you do anything pleasing to God, the enemy comes knocking. Like the enemy will come and harass you and hound you. So don't expect, if you're doing something significant, you may often feel, and this is the trap, is you do something for God, you're obedient and so forth, and you're walking in his ways. The enemy attacks you, and then you suddenly feel like you're being punished because you must have done something disobedient. So the enemy then causes doubt and fear and confusion. He causes confusion because you've done something that you think will be pleasing to God, or you've been obedient, a faithful servant, and then you're getting attacked. And so you're like, well, is this my reward, for that? So you have to learn that when you're doing his work, is that you're going to stir the enemy up. The enemy's going to hate it, and therefore you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer because your intent is good, because you seek him, and you will suffer. So that suffering will often, it can go for long periods of time without any sort of positivity and other things. And you have to have faith to get through that, understand that you're being attacked because you're a threat to the enemy. The enemy is not in the business of attacking those who aren't a threat, and God's not in the business of causing you anxiety and unhealthy fear unless you're in disobedience. So there are two lines of thought. One is the enemy attacks you because of disobedience, and the other line of thought is the enemy attacks you because of obedience. And you must be able to discern between the two. You should know, because you'll have a conviction either way of which one it is. But you will be attacked nevertheless. So when you turn away from evil, evil will come and attack you. And you will find peace and rest in Jesus, of course. But you won't be short of these deceptions of the enemy or these attacks of the enemy. They may come in forms of dreams. They may come in form of infirmity and sickness. They may come in the form of watching family members or those that you love attack you all of a sudden. One day everything's cool, and the next minute they're accusing you of things, or they're really you're really negative towards you, or friends, or whoever it might be. So this is the challenge of running the race, is that we have to endure patiently, which we've been talking about this morning. We have to endure patiently, focused on others, which we were talking about yesterday, in humility. But also too, we have to endure a great evil around us, and we have to endure the evil that is within others. And we also have to endure the chastening of God as well. Honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your produce. Then your barns will be filled with plenty, and your vats will be bursting with wine. Very true. If we do give to God, don't give to a person, give to God. You might be giving to a person, but you're actually giving to God. You're not actually giving to the person. You're giving it to him, to God, and saying, God, please direct your servant, the person I'm giving this to, that they'll use this money for your work, right, or for your purposes. And so when you give, you're giving to him. He will return those gifts that you give, in the sense of it'll come in different forms. It could come in a financial sense. It could come in the sense of something else. We understand that also covers covers a multitude of sins. Love covers a multitude of sins, but there's also a passage that talks about charity. It's charity, but I thought there was another passage, but maybe it's the charity. Yeah, so charity means love as well. But we see that doing something positive or being kind to others or being generous will cover a multitude of sins as well. So you're not buying your way out of sin or anything like that, let's be clear. But your acts of kindness and your giving to others and your generous heart will be recognized by God, as long as you don't sound the trumpet before yourself. Don't sound that trumpet and say, I did this and I did that. When we sound that trumpet, that's when we lose that blessing. We won't receive anything for it. My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline or be weary of his reproof, for the Lord reproves him who he loves. So God's discipline is a sign of his love. And his discipline is something that is very uncomfortable. It's something that is very wearying as well. It can be wearying, like it can make us, as it says here, don't be weary of his reproof, because his discipline can be heavy. But by faith, we just endure the discipline. We endure it, we accept our consequence for our sin. We endure the discipline, and then we remember this, is that the Lord reproves him who he loves. So it's an outward sign. God loves you. God loves you. He's treating you like a son, and he's being a father. He's disciplining you because of his love. For the Lord reproves him whom he loves, as the father the son in whom he delights. So blessed is the one who finds wisdom. Blessed is the one who finds wisdom, and the one who gets understanding. For the gain from her is better than gain from silver, and her profit better than gold. She's more precious than jewels. And so wisdom is a she, and we see she's better than gold. She's more precious than jewels, and nothing you desire can compare with her. Long life is in her right hand. In her left hand are riches and honor. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who lay hold of her. Those who hold her fast are called blessed. The Lord by wisdom founded the earth. By understanding he established the heavens. By his knowledge the deeps broke open, and the clouds dropped down the dew. My son, do not lose sight of these. Keep sound wisdom and discretion, and they will be life for your soul and adornment for your neck. Then you will walk on your way securely, and your foot will not stumble. If you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. Do not be afraid of sudden terror, or of the ruin of the wicked when it comes. For the Lord will be your confidence, and will keep your foot from being caught. Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, when it is in your power to do it. Do not say to your neighbor, go and come again. Tomorrow I will give it, when you have it with you. Do not plan evil against your neighbor, who dwells trustingly beside you. Do not contend with a man for no reason, when he has done you no harm. Do not envy a man of violence, and do not choose any of his ways. For the devious person is an abomination to the Lord, but the upright are in his confidence. The Lord's curse is on the house of the wicked, but he blesses the dwelling of the righteous. Toward the scorners he is scornful, but to the humble he gives favor. The wise will inherit honor, but fools get disgrace. A father's wise instruction. Hear, O sons, a father's instruction, and be attentive that you may gain insight. For I give you good precepts. Do not forsake my teaching. When I was a son with my father, tender, the only one in the sight of my mother, he taught me and said to me, let your heart hold fast my words. Keep my commandments and live. Get wisdom, get insight. Do not forget and do not turn away from the words of my mouth. Do not forsake her, and she will keep you. Love her, and she will guard you. The beginning of wisdom is this, get wisdom. So we understand that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And we understand now is that the beginning of wisdom is to get wisdom. So to understand and to gain wisdom from God's word and from him. And whatever you get insight. Prize her highly, and she will exalt you. She'll honor you if you embrace her. She'll place on your head a graceful garland. She'll bestow on you a beautiful crown. Hear, my son, and accept my words, that the years of your life may be many. I have taught you the way of wisdom. I have led you in the paths of uprightness. When you walk, your step will not be hampered, and if you run, you will not stumble. Keep hold of instruction, do not let go. Guard her, for she is your life. Do not enter the path of the wicked, and do not walk in the way of the evil. Avoid it, do not go on it. Turn away from it and pass on. For they cannot sleep unless they have done wrong. They are robbed of sleep unless they have made someone stumble. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. But the path of the righteous is like the light of the dawn, which shines brighter and brighter until full day. The way of the wicked is like deep darkness. They do not know over what they stumble. My son, be attentive to my words. Incline your ears to my sayings. Let them not escape from your sight. Keep them within your heart, for they are life to those who find them, and healing to all their flesh. Keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flows the springs of life. Put away from you crooked speech, and put devious talk far from you. Let your eyes look directly forward, and your gaze be straight before you. Ponder the path of your feet, then all your ways will be sure. Do not swerve to the right or to the left. Turn your foot away from evil. So don't go backwards, right? Don't go this way or that way, but instead just turn away from evil. Warning against adultery. My son, be attentive to my wisdom. Incline your ear to my understanding. that you may keep discretion and your lips may guard knowledge. For the lips of a forbidden woman drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil. But in the end she is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps follow the path to Sheol, and she does not ponder the path of life. Her ways wander, and she does not know it. So not only is she, if we see this symbolic forbidden woman, this adulteress with the smooth words and so forth that we read earlier, we see that she entices with her words. So her words are, everything sounds so good, right? So deception, it sounds so good, right? It's tempting. It's a tempting thing. But you see in the end that when you drink of this, that there's this bitterness, right? Just like the water is bitter, and a bitter water is not a good sign. And we see that in the end, that's what she is. And those who follow her go down to death. They're led astray. She does not ponder the path of life, her ways wander, and she does not know it. She's ignorant of her deception. And now, O sons, listen to me, and do not depart from the words of my mouth. Keep your way far from her, and do not go near the door of her house, lest you give your honor to others, and your years to the merciless, lest strangers take their fill of your strength, and your labors go to the house of a foreigner. And at the end of your life you groan, when your flesh and body are consumed, and you say, how I hated discipline, and my heart despised reproof. I did not listen to the voice of my teachers, or incline my ear to my instructors. I am at the brink of utter ruin in the assembled congregation. Drink water from your own cistern, flowing water from your own well. Should your springs be scattered abroad, streams of water in the streets, let them be for yourself alone, and not for strangers with you. Let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice in the wife of your youth, a lovely deer or graceful doe. Let her breast fill you at times with delight, be intoxicated always in her love. Why should you be intoxicated, my son, with a forbidden woman, and embrace the bosom of an adulteress? So once again, we see here that this symbolism of being faithful to your wife, to the one who loves you, to the one who you're married to, and let her fill you up. Don't chase after these things of deception and these things that may seem sweet, but inside they're bitter, and they'll drag you down to hell. Why should you be intoxicated, my son, with a forbidden woman, and embrace the bosom of adulteress? For man's ways are before the eyes of the Lord, and he ponders all his paths. The iniquities of the wicked ensnare him, and he is held fast in the cords of his sin. He dies for a lack of discipline, and because of his great folly he is led astray. And once again, the person who is unable to, like if you put this in the context of just a marriage and an adultery, the person who's unable to control themselves, that leads to their demise. Practical warnings. My son, if you put up security for your neighbor, you've given a pledge for a stranger. If you are snared in the words of your mouth, caught in the words of your mouth. So you've said something and there's no going back from it. Or you've said something and then they've called you out on it, and you know that they basically now have got you in this situation, got you in a lie, or got you in something you've said. You may have told some untruth and they've exposed it. It says, then do this, my son, and save yourself, for you've come into the hand of your neighbor. Go hasten and plead urgently with your neighbor. Give your eyes no sleep, and your eyelids no slumber. Save yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, like a bird from the hand of the fowler. Go to the Anno sluggard, consider her ways, and be wise. Without having any chief, officer, or ruler, she prepares her bread in summer, and gathers her food in harvest. How long will you lie there, O sluggard? When will you rise from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a robber, and want like an armed man. A worthless person, a wicked man, goes about with crooked speech, winks with his eye, signals with his feet, points with his finger, with perverted heart devises evil, continually sowing discord. Therefore calamity will come upon him suddenly. In a moment he will be broken beyond healing. So we're seeing a few different passages here. We're seeing one about all of a sudden it talks about, falling in the hands of your neighbor. And then we see here it's talking about the ant itself and being not being a sluggard, not being lazy, right? Being motivated, being willing to work. Otherwise, you'll end up with nothing. If you don't work, you don't eat, and you won't end up with any bread. So you'll be like in poverty. And then we see a worthless person, a wicked man, goes about with crooked speech. So those who start acting in this way, they devise evil, they accuse and all sorts of things. And then we see here now it's talking about what God hates. So there are 6 things that the Lord hates, 7 that are an abomination to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. And I just lost my screen for a moment there. I'm not sure what happened there. And hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that makes haste to run to evil, a false witness who breathes out lies, and one who sows discord among brothers. Warnings against adultery. My son, keep your father's commandment and forsake not your mother's teaching. Bind them on your heart always, tie them around your neck. When you walk, they will lead you. When you lie down, they will watch over you. And when you awake, they will talk with you. For the commandment is a lamp and the teaching a light. And the reproofs of discipline are the way of life, to preserve you from the evil woman, from the smooth tongue of the adulteress. Do not desire her beauty in your heart. So just like the world, she draws you, and do not let her capture you with her eyelashes. For the price of a prostitute is only a loaf of bread. Right, it puts it in perspective, doesn't it? Is that there's this literal, there's this like infatuation or desire, like there's this amazing reward, but in reality it says the price of a prostitute is only a loaf of bread. She's worth nothing. But a married woman hunts down a precious life. Can a man carry fire next to his chest and his clothes and not be burned? Or can one walk on hot coals and his feet not be scorched? So is he who goes into his neighbor's wife. None who touches her will go unpunished. People do not despise a thief if he steals, to satisfy his appetite when he is hungry. And so this gives us the context here of proper adultery rather than the world itself. It's talking about, literal adultery with your neighbor. So none who touches her will go unpunished. People do not despise a thief if he steals, to satisfy his appetite when he's hungry. But if he is caught, he will pay 7-fold. He will give all the goods of his house. He who commits adultery lacks sense. He who does it destroys himself. He will get wounds and dishonor, and his disgrace will not be wiped away. For jealousy makes a man furious, and he will not spare when he takes revenge. He will accept no compensation. He will refuse though you multiply gifts. And saying that whoever you've committed adultery with will come seeking revenge. Warning against the adulteress. My son, keep the words and treasure up my commandments with you. Keep my commandments and live. Keep my teaching as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call insight your intimate friend, to keep you from the forbidden woman, from the adulteress with her smooth words. For at the window of my house I have looked out through my lattice, and I have seen among the simple, I have perceived among the youths, a young man lacking sense, passing along the street near her corner, taking the road to her house in the twilight in the evening, at the time of the night and darkness. And behold, the woman meets him, dressed as a prostitute, wily of heart. She is loud and wayward, her feet do not stay at home. Now in the street, now in the market, and at every corner she lies in wait. She seizes him and kisses him, and with bold face she says to him, I had to offer sacrifices, and today I paid my vows. So now I have come out to meet you, to seek you eagerly, and I found you. I have spread my couch with coverings, coloured linens from Egyptian linen. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love till the morning. Let us delight ourselves with love. For my husband is not at home. He is gone on a long journey. He took a bag of money with him. At full moon he will come home. With much seductive speech she persuades him. With a smooth talk she compels him. All at once he follows her as an ox goes to the slaughter, or as a stag is caught fast, till an arrow pierces its liver, as a bird rushes into a snare. So once again, if we're talking about adultery, the devil, he'll use women to attack men. He'll use men even to attack women in this way, to encourage lust, to encourage adultery, to encourage people to go to their essential death, right? So to walk into a honey trap where you end up in a situation where you don't realize, but you're actually going to your imminent death, because God will punish you and punish you greatly and severely for this. So, and he fires his arrows, obviously. He does not know that it will cost him his life. And now, O sons, listen to me and be attentive to the words of my mouth. Let not your heart turn aside to her ways. So obviously we're talking not just about adultery, but we're talking about the world and the desires of the world as well. In another layer of this, that the adulteress represents that, whore of Babylon, that world system that we go to. It's tempting to go back to the world. It's tempting to follow all their ways, but their ways lead to death as well, just as adultery does. Because it's the same thing. We're committing adultery. If we go back to the world, you're committing adultery on your marriage covenant, your ketubah with Jesus. So let not your heart turn aside to her ways. Do not stray into her paths. For many a victim has she laid low, and all her slain are a mighty throng. Her house is the way to Sheol, going down to the chambers of death. And I'm just at 45 minutes now. I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to get too far ahead. I want to take Proverbs a little slower. Just leave it there today. We've also got the study that I've put forward this morning. Looking at the time, it's just about the right time to finish up. So thanks for joining today. I hope you got something out of this. And if you did, please give us a like or watch our study from this morning. That's also helpful as well. And we just hope you have a wonderful day in Christ. God bless and Maranatha.